So, why is the US complicit in killing tens of thousands of women and children and trying to wipe Palestinians? Just kill them all. Why is this happening? Why is the US not speaking out against it? Why is the US sending more money to Israel and selling them weapons and being quiet and supporting their genocide? I am going to play a little clip from former Intel analyst Phil Giraldi. And this is in an interview that was on Judge Napolitano's show today about how Israel has Biden trapped.
Uh, the Israeli lobby, if one wants to describe it that way, in Democratic Party politics. The Democratic Party donations, its funding, has been a majority from Jewish sources for quite some time, and this is something that potentially, as we saw in the last couple of elections, where you were talking sometimes in terms of $100 million. Oof, it's substantial. And if
these are American donations,
right,
to politicians in both parties who will support Israel no matter what it does.
Yeah, well, it's there is a counterpart in the Republican Party too, like we saw with Sheldon Adelson and Donald Trump.
Oh, right, that was another $100 million from Adelson and his folks alone.
So we're talking about huge sums of money that in themselves can decide who's going to win an election through the promotion of the candidates. And so Biden is essentially got to give Netanyahu everything he wants. And we've just seen that last week in terms of another $26 billion from the U.S. Treasury going to Israel. And he's got to do that, or his Israel supporter contingency will send its money somewhere else and will give him bad press in the media that they control. And so this is a very bad message for Biden. He's got to do what Israel wants. But on the other hand, there is a younger voter in the Democratic Party that is somewhat progressive, and many of them are incidentally Jewish, who are outraged by what is going on, the genocide that we all know is taking place in the Middle East, and which the government is not willing to concede is actually happening. And he's got to worry about where those voters are going to go. They may not want to vote for Donald Trump, but they may not want to vote for him in some swing states that are leaning liberal. So this is a big issue for Biden. He's caught either way.
We're posting something called Track APAC. This is the APAC website.
Okay, so that is why the U.S. is so deeply involved in Israel and supporting Israel and helping Israel in their extermination of the Palestinians, because all of the money that the Israeli lobbyists and APAC are giving to our candidates. And then the media is largely owned by Israelis as well, so they're very favorable to Israel. That's why I think independent media is good, but you really can't blame these people. They're just using the system, that they're in, and they're not coming from their hearts. They're coming from hate. They want to exterminate these damn dark-skinned people that they hate so much. And, not everyone is coming from love. So I'm just explaining to you why this is happening. And fortunately, all of this is happening in an election year. But the vote of the people is not enough of a deterrent for the U.S. to pull back from killing all these Palestinians, which pretty much they're doing by sending money to Israel and sending weapons to Israel. But we have a few swing states. And in these swing states, a lot of these young people are very upset with what's happening. So they may not vote for Biden. I don't know if they're going to vote for Trump or Kennedy or what they're going to do. But right now, the Democratic Party is not concerned enough about that. They're really beholden to their donors. It's the donors that run things. That's why I think the greatest number of lobbyists is actually in the pharmaceutical industry. So you have the big money that directs our foreign policy and our internal homeland policy is the pharmaceutical industry, Wall Street, and the military industrial complex, they call it, which is pretty much companies that make weapons, warfare, and so making war weapons and medications that we really don't need because we're so unhealthy. That's pretty much the agenda that the US has right now. And that's why so many people are struggling. That's where our tax money is going. It's sad, but the good thing is that we can at least talk about it, that we have independent media, and that we can vote. And I hope that more people will vote for third-party candidates. I really don't even know if that would make a difference. It's like the system is so corrupt. But nothing new here. I think that it's always been throughout human history that the powerful people use their power to get more power, to maintain their power. And those of you who think you want to marry a rich guy, these are the rich guys. This is what they do. They try to get more power, they try to control, they try to manipulate, they try to enrich themselves at the expense of other people. They're not coming from love. There's nothing loving about any of this. There's nothing loving about the lobbyists. They're not looking out for the people. They're not coming from love. They're not thinking what is best. What are my values? They're like, okay, I need this money. I need this power. I want to be in this social circle. I want to fit in with these important people. And this is what I have to do. And I think they are completely disconnected from their hearts. Anyway, this is why it's happening, and it's not going to change. I think the only way that this thing in Gaza can change is if some of the countries in that area start to maybe embargo Israel or set some limits, some sanctions or something. But I don't know. And because the U.S. has a veto power at the United Nations. All of these people that have been going to the United Nations trying to pass votes on war crimes done by Israel and the U.S. and violating the Geneva Convention, all this stuff, none of this can get through because the U.S. has a veto power. And so the U.S. is very, very complicit in this, but so is Germany and Britain and France. They're all very bad, in my opinion. The leaders are very bad. So I think all we can do is spread love in our own lives, I really don't think I can influence these politicians. Very sad how some people are so, they use their money to try to kill so many other people just because they don't like them. That's low vibration energy. I mean, it's one thing to hate people, but to actually go and kill them, that's pretty evil.